My name is Betsy Barr. I'm a mother of two, a church planter's wife, a math teacher of over a decade, and I'm also a licensed agent with Barr Financial Group, part of the Greater Symmetry Financial Group. Today, I'm here to ask you two questions. One, are you 100% sure that you're going to have a great retirement, or do you have some doubt? And then secondly, what if I could show you a way to get rid of all of your debt in 9 years or less, including your mortgage, without having to spend any additional money? Now that might sound like it's, too good to be true, but I'm really excited about sharing this with you, showing you how you can make the numbers work for your family instead of against you. We'll start by looking at your journey through life. You'll have lots of victories, lots of challenges, some setbacks, sometimes moving forward. But as we go through life, for many of us, it's inevitable that we're going to get some debt. We get to retirement, and unfortunately for many of us, when we get there, we're still in debt. And it's not just you and me. Actually, as a whole country, we're over $13 trillion in debt. In fact, the average person in America is about $250,000 in debt and is only able to put away about 3% of their money into savings throughout their lifetime. Now, financial advisors will say, well, just put more into savings. But for many of us, we're already doing the best we can. Did you know that we're actually paying 34 cents of every dollar in interest towards our lenders? And then we're paying about 40 cents of every dollar on taxes. And so that only leaves about 23 cents from every dollar that then we've got available to spend on our lifestyle. So with all of these numbers, what does that actually mean for you? This means that we're paying 74 cents out of every dollar we earn to the banks and to the government. So this is Renee and Anthony, and they're a family that came to Symmetry and were able to benefit from our Debt-Free Life program. Here we have their financial analysis worksheet that they filled out with us. So you can see they're in their 30s, they make about $7,000 a month. They'd like to retire at 65 with $5,000 a month in income. So we asked them if they had any specific plans to accomplish those goals, and then they told us not yet. They're making monthly contributions to savings. Now on the debts, it comes up to $21.77 a month, and their total debt balance is about $180,000. Now look at this. We took Renee and Anthony's information and we ran it through our program to show them their real debt. So we showed them if they continue doing what they're doing right now, they would be out of debt in 30 years. They'd pay off the $180,000 balance, but then they would also pay off almost $200,000 in interest on top of that. So that's why we call it the real debt report, because their real debt is about $380,000. This was a little bit of a shock to Renee and Anthony. So let's take a moment now and talk about interest, and let's look at what a 5% interest on a mortgage loan looks like. So loans are set up to make us pay back the amount on the interest first before we actually touch the principal. So if you see here on this loan, for your first year, 78% of what you're paying is only going towards the interest. And then when you get to year 10, now you're paying 63% interest. At year 20, now you're at 42% is interest. And then finally, by year 29 in that 30-year loan, you start paying 5.3% interest. All right, let's talk about solutions. What would you say to someone that's interested in getting rid of their debt? What are their options for doing something like that? Well, traditionally, you could say, hey, if you work harder, you spend less, you can refinance or consolidate your loans and then hope for a better interest rate. There's also the option of snowballing debt, where you pay off one debt at a time using the savings from when you've eliminated one debt, and then you can help that to pay off the next. But in reality, that takes a long time, and to be honest, that strategy actually has a success rate of less than 1%. The idea of debt snowballing really makes sense mathematically. And so what we're able to do is we're actually then able to optimize it with life insurance. Now, when we do that, that success rate just shoots up tremendously. And then you're also going to significantly decrease the amount of time that it takes you to pay off all of that debt. Earlier, I had asked the question, what if I could show you a way to eliminate your debt in 9 years or less, including your mortgage, without having to spend additional money? This is how we're able to do it. And I know it sounds dramatic, but it can change your life. At Symmetry, we think that there's a better way for you to allocate your money where you're not spending 74 cents out of every dollar to the banks and the government. So our Debt-Free Life program is designed to help you reduce the amount of money that you're paying towards the interest and taxes, and then you can increase your money that's available for lifestyle purchases and then for saving for the future. So our program is designed to help you bring your debt down to $0. How would eliminating your debt make you feel? The Debt-Free Life program can help you reduce your interest to lenders, eliminate all your debt in 9 years or less. You're going to reduce taxes over time, improve your cash flow to save money, and then it's going to allow you to retire with that tax-favored income. So how do we change the way that your money is used? Well, so we got to start at the beginning. We found that when we use a spending planner and we track money, then families are usually able to look at that and see, oh, hey, if I redirect this money, it's going to have a much more powerful impact on my future. So then based on your information, we would figure out how to redirect those inefficiently used dollars. And here's the thing, we're looking at solutions for real people who are living real lives. So we're not going to figure out some plan where you can't have any fun, you can't do anything that you like, you got to eat rice and beans and just kind of hole yourself up in your house until it's all over. We want you to live your life, and we also know that in life emergencies are going to happen. So we plan for that. We've got an emergency fund of about 20% that can go towards, just purchases that come up that need to be taken care of. And then 80% will go towards retirement and savings for the future. Shifting gears a little bit, let's talk about taxes for a moment. Do you think that in the future taxes are going to stay the same, get lower, or get higher? Well, like we said at the beginning, America is in a lot of debt, and the government has one bank, that's you and me, and that's our taxes. And so as we think about how we're going to be able to pay off our national debt, it's reasonable to assume that at some point our tax rates are going to increase. Now let's say that a friend or family member approaches you with this business proposal. You're going to front all the money, take all the risk, work on the business every day, and then 30 years from now, your loved one will come to you and tell you that you still owe them money. Would you want to go into business with this person? Probably not. But really, this is what we do with the government every day when we're investing in traditional retirement or investment accounts. So you probably know how 401ks and IRAs work, but let me just share how we think that they work. So let's say that we put $5,000 per year into an IRA that's earning 10%. So we know that those funds are going to double every 7 years. Now, what advantage do you gain from using an IRA or a 401k? If you said tax deduction, you're right. That's what everybody says. We get a tax deduction. So in this case, when you're 45, you could deduct $1,250. Then at age 52, you could deduct $2,500 and so on. Then by 66, you've saved $10,000 in taxes, right? But then when you pull that money from your IRA at age 66 at a 25% tax bracket, what do you owe the government in taxes? If you said $10,000, you're right. So my question is, where is the tax savings? Now my point in showing this to you is to demonstrate that if you decrease your tax liability, that's going to be more money in your pocket for the long run. let's take a closer look at $10,000 being invested in an account at 7% interest where you're in a 25% tax bracket. Now, over a period of 28 years, what you're going to find is that if it's in a taxable investment, you're going to get $41,900. If it's in a tax-deferred investment, you'll receive $49,866. But then if it's in a tax-free investment, you would receive $66,448. Now, which of those three options would be most preferable to you? Now, I'm not saying take all your money out of your current retirement accounts, never use an IRA. Okay, that's not reasonable. That's not realistic. Some people would never consider that, never feel comfortable with that. And you always need to do what makes you feel comfortable for you and your family's assets. I'm just explaining a way that you could redirect some of your contributions into a program that would help you maximize your impact with a lower risk. Do you remember Renee and Anthony? Here's a snapshot of what their retirement plan would have been if they didn't change what they were doing. At the end of 30 years, $306,000. So Renee and Anthony still have a pretty good option. They're set pretty well for retirement, but they just asked us to show them what could debt-free life do for their situation. Doesn't cost anything, there was no commitment, so we just ran their numbers and presented it to them. And so with debt-free life, Renee and Anthony could get out of debt in 7.8 years. Instead of paying about $200,000 in interest, they would only have to pay about $77,000. And so that would save them about $122,000 just in interest. Then, since they would be able to eliminate their debt in 7.8 years, they could free up that monthly payment of $2,100 that was going to the debt and then redirect that into savings for retirement. So if they kept using it and saving money, then doing that for 22 years at 4% interest, they would accumulate over $1 million in savings. Now, that is tax-free money in a savings account. So if we remember their projected retirement savings, if they just kept doing exactly what they were doing, they would get about $306,000 at the end of 30 years. But then with the Debt-Free Life program, their new projected retirement is over $1 million. Now for Renee and Anthony, if they decided not to use the Debt-Free Life program, it was actually going to cost them $820,000. They discussed it and they decided that Debt-Free Life was the best choice for their family, their family's future. And so we were able to help them get set up and walk into a debt-free life. But of course, they're not the only families that we've been able to help here at Symmetry Financial Group. In fact, just this past year, we've been able to help families save over $17,306,199 in interest. We've helped families have a projected increase in retirement of $115,684,578. And then we've helped families eliminate $53,602,137 in debt. Now those are big numbers, and I love numbers, but what I really love is I love helping families. And so seeing those numbers and knowing that those are families that are impacted, it's really exciting and it's really fulfilling to be able to help families with that. So you might have a question, how does this all actually work? And what we're actually going to do is we're going to turn you into your own bank. So let's take a moment and talk about how banks work. As bank customers, we put money in the bank and then we're going to earn about 1% return off of it. Now the bank takes that money and then lends it out to other bank customers at different interest rates. Banks turn over money 7 times. So for every $1 that you put in the bank is going to use that dollar 7 times. So again, if you look at this example, you're going to earn 1% off of that $1 that you put in. And the bank, because they're charging different interest rates on loaning that dollar out 7 times at different interest rates, earns 136%. Wouldn't you like to be the bank? So with Debt-Free Life, that's what we do. We're gonna make you the bank, and then your dollar is gonna work for you in two ways. It's gonna be saving money for you and creating compound interest for you. So your dollar is gonna be working for you and not for somebody else. Now, this actually is not a new idea. There's some really influential people in the financial world who've been using this whole idea to help them create their empires. For instance, Walt Disney created a little company called Disney. Doris Christopher created the Pampered Chef. Warren Buffett with Berkshire Hathaway, he was able to use this as leverage when he invested in stocks and private companies. And then Ray Kroc used it to create a little hamburger joint called McDonald's. So again, this isn't something that hasn't been around for an extremely long time. Most of us just haven't known about it. I know I didn't. So that's just why I'm here to explain it to you, and hopefully this could be something that would benefit you, your family, your organization. So the Debt-Free Life program can redirect your inefficiently used dollars. It's going to allow your policy's cash value to grow guaranteed, so you're going to be protected against any kind of market loss. Then you can borrow from your policy's cash value with no penalties, no tax. It's going to help you pay off your debt in 9 years or less. You can repay loans into the policy then with freed up cash flow. You can finance future purchases. And then you're still leaving a legacy with your life insurance policy's death benefit, which is tax-free to all your beneficiaries. Because of all that, this Debt-Free Life program is going to allow you to reduce the interest that you're paying to lenders. It's going to eliminate all your debt in 9 years or less, reduce your taxes over time, improve your cash flow to save money, and then allow you to retire with tax-favored income. Well, that's all the information that I have for you today. And so I'd like to end this off with 4 questions. When do you want to reduce your debt? When would you like to improve your cash flow? And when would you like to reduce taxes? Most importantly, do you have a plan to get there? If I could put together a plan that makes sense to you, fits within your comfort zone, and puts you in a better financial position all without you having to spend additional money, would you be interested in seeing that? So for a cost-free, commitment-free look at what Debt-Free Life could do for you, your family, your organization, like a business or a church, you can contact our office by phone or by email. You can also check out our website, barrfinancialgroup.com, and just kind of look over more information about the Debt-Free Life program. And there's a place that you could fill out some information, and we'll contact you from there. It truly is my hope and desire to be able to help you and your family walk into a debt-free life.